Some horror franchises refuse to stay buried. No matter how many times they fail, no matter how badly the resurrection goes, they always claw their way back to the surface. And now, one of the most iconic horror names of all time is doing exactly that. The Mummy is officially returning, and this time, it's coming back with a very different kind of curse. When the first teaser dropped, I didn't feel excitement right away. I felt curiosity mixed with caution. Because we've been here before, Tom Cruise's attempt to reboot The Mummy and launch a connected monster universe collapsed almost instantly, leaving the franchise in limbo. For years, it seemed like Hollywood didn't quite know what to do with it. That changed quietly in mid-2024. Instead of chasing spectacle or shared universes, the new plan shifted towards something smaller, darker, and far more personal. Lee Cronin, the filmmaker behind Evil Dead Rise, was brought in to write and direct a standalone reimagining for Blumhouse and New Line Cinema. No interconnected universe, no franchise obligations, just one film, one vision, and one chance to make The Mummy genuinely terrifying again. After nearly a year of silent development, momentum finally started building in early 2025. Jack Renner was announced as the lead, followed shortly by Lia Costa. Then the cast expanded with Veronica Falcon, May Calamuy, May Elgety, and Natalie Grace. Filming took place between March and June, and now, with the first official trailer released, we finally have a sense of what this new version is aiming for. And it's not adventure, it's not spectacle, it's horror. The 63-second trailer doesn't give much away, but what it does show is incredibly deliberate. At the center of the story is a family whose lives become entangled with an immortal figure tied to ancient Egyptian history. There's also a missing child, a mystery that feels emotionally grounded rather than mythic at first. But the deeper the trailer goes, the clearer it becomes that this isn't a story about uncovering ancient secrets. It's about what those secrets do to the people who find them. Lee Cronin has a very specific creative pattern, and it's impossible to ignore here. In both his debut feature The Hole in the Ground and in Evil Dead Rise, he focused on families under siege by forces they can't fully understand or escape. This new Mummy film follows that same structure. The horror doesn't arrive through explorers or archaeologists. It arrives through the home. One of the most striking changes this film makes compared to previous Mummy entries is its use of a child as the emotional focal point. Jack Renner's character is connected to a girl named Katie who disappears for 8 years. When she finally returns, she's found inside an open sarcophagus. She's alive, but she's not the same. Her body shows subtle deformities, and the way other characters react to her presence suggests that something followed her back. That alone is a massive tonal shift for the franchise. Previous Mummy films treated resurrection as spectacle. This one treats it as contamination. The official story description hints that Katie's return becomes a living nightmare for the family, and the trailer strongly supports that idea. The curse doesn't seem confined to one body. It spreads. It infects. Characters appear to hurt themselves involuntarily. Blood appears without explanation. One figure is violently thrown through a window by something unseen. The implication is clear. This ancient Egyptian entity doesn't just exist, it possesses. If that sounds familiar, it should. The possession mechanics appear eerily similar to the Deadites in Evil Dead Rise. That doesn't mean repetition, it means evolution. Cronin seems to be taking the body horror and psychological cruelty he perfected there and filtering it through a mythological lens. And this is where the new Mummy truly separates itself from the past. Visually, the film appears far more graphic than anything the franchise has attempted before. There are brief but disturbing flashes of skin peeling, blood pouring from mouths, and characters with faces smeared in crimson. These aren't quick scares, they're physical, intimate, uncomfortable. Cronin isn't interested in spooky atmosphere alone. He's leaning hard into visceral horror. This isn't a monster chasing people through tombs. This is a curse unraveling a family from the inside out. What I find most interesting is how restrained the trailer is despite all this. It hides more than it shows. There's no clear look at the mummy itself, no full reveal of the creature. That restraint suggests confidence, the kind of confidence that comes from knowing the horror works best when the audience fills in the gaps themselves. It also signals a rejection of the franchise's past identity. This isn't pulp adventure horror, it's slow, invasive, and emotionally cruel. The ancient Egyptian elements aren't there to dazzle, they're there to haunt. Blumhouse's involvement makes perfect sense here. This feels like a return to horror fundamentals. One location, one family, one unstoppable force. No jokes to soften the impact. No heroic escapes guaranteed. And while some fans may miss the globe-trotting adventure tone of earlier films, this approach feels far more aligned with modern horror audiences. It's not asking you to be entertained, it's daring you to sit with discomfort. The biggest question now is whether The Mummy can fully shed the weight of its previous versions. The trailer suggests it can. By narrowing its focus and embracing fear over fantasy, this film might finally unlock the horror potential the franchise always hinted at but never fully embraced. If Lee Cronin delivers on what this teaser promises, this won't just be another reboot. It'll be a reinvention that proves some stories don't need to be bigger to be scarier. They just need to get closer. I'll be watching this one very carefully, because if this is truly the most brutal version of The Mummy we've ever seen, then horror fans might finally get the resurrection they've been waiting for. Until then, stay sharp, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.